Hello everyone, so we catch up again with me, Lovan Novianti. At this time, I would like to share you a little bit knowledge about translations that I've learned in my university. Actually this is for my midterm assignment from the translation subject. So today I'm going to talk about the translations according to Peter Newmark at his textbooks of translations. Alright, Peter Newmark say in this book that there's translations definitions. Translations is about activity of transferring the meaning from the source language into the target language, and also maintaining the both of them or also the form as close as possible. When we talk about the definition of translations, it must be a translation process, right? So Peter Newmark says that there is a three stages of translations process. The first one is analyzing and transferring and also restructuring. In the analyzing, translator must understand about the context, meaning, and also the cultural of the text, and also transfer them into the target language mentally. And the last is restructuring. It's about the translator arrange with the meaning properly to acceptable in the audience and also make it sound naturally and clearly. And in translations, there is a language functions that there is a different type of text. The first one is about expressive functions and informative functions, vocative functions, and also the last is aesthetic functions. The first one is about expressive functions, right? So the text must be expressive. Like there is the expressions like emotionally, sadness, and also sadness, whatever about the emotional. So the type text is about literal text and also autobiography. And when we talk about the informative text, when the translator want to translate the text, the main goal is about to find the fact of information. For example, academic paper and new reports and so on. The next is about the vocative functions. Vocative functions is when the translator want to translate the text that want to persuade an audience to take actions. For example, to translate the text or a report or project that it seems like promotions about the product, project, or so on. And the last is about aesthetic functions. Aesthetic functions is when the main goal of translate is about beautiful or interest. The type text of this kind of functions is poem, poetry, storytelling, and so on that have relationship with the beautifulness. Okay. When we talk about the language function, Peter Newmark also mentions that there is the unit of translations and also discourse analysis. Between the unit of translations and discourse analysis is have a different, because in the unit of translations it's the smallest part of the translations. It could be a word, page, sentence, and also even a paragraph. And then when the discourse analysis is it's about translator must be pay attention with the meaning that make it sounds acceptable or understandable for the audience. Okay, now we will talk about the translations ideology. So when we talk about the ideology, there is a source and target, right? But in ideology, we talk about the source oriented and target oriented. In the source oriented, we prioritize the faithfulness from the original text. For example, where we want to mention a word from cultural of Japanese like katana, or no, I mean samurai. Okay, samurai. But when we want to talk about that word, we should keep say it in English or even Indonesia. Without translated, because we keep faithfulness in the original text from the Japanese, so we cannot translate it. But in the target oriented, this is about make the meaning is acceptable and also make it understandable for the audience. Like for example, he is so Shakespeare, it's mean like dia adalah pujangga. So this is let's say about the true meanings even though in the dictionary. Okay, all right, let's move into the translations method. Peter Newmark mentions that there is a translation method that the four is about the search for the search language, and also in the last four is for the target language. You know, in the search language there is the first one, word for translations and literal translations, and also semantic translations, and also faithfulness translations. You know, word for word translations is mean like we just translate it word for word, like we translate in the dictionary. We look at dictionary. For example, she is beautiful. Dia adalah beautiful in, I'm sorry, dia adalah cantik in Indonesia. We didn't change anything because this is a word for word translations. It's different from the literal language because literal translations is have the same meaning with the word for word translation, but there is a difference because in literal translations we have a grammatical structure. So, for example, she is beautiful. In Indonesia, we say dia cantik. No, dia adalah cantik because in literal translations there is a grammatical structure. Okay, and the faithfulness is we borrowing the word from the target language, and also, I mean in the search language, and also keep saying them in the target language. Not we not translate it like in the summary before. We could say it in English even though in Indonesia. For example, kimono in Japanese, word Japanese, we keep saying kimono even though in Indonesia we don't translate it because this is a faithfulness, so we borrow the word from the other language. And the last is about semantic translations. I'm not going to explain that, and we move into the target translations, target language. In the target we have adaptations, and also free translations, idiomatic translations, and also the vocative translations. So in adaptation translations is we adapting the word from the target language, and also from the source language, and also we translate also in the target language. For example, as wide as snow, it means like someone that have kindness, and also someone with softness, personal. But in the target language we can say as white as a cotton. It's about like cotton. We talk about the color, it's white, but we keep adapting the word. And also the next is free translations. You know, according to the name, free, so we free to translate the text. For example, there is no grammatical structures in the text, so we free to translate it. For example, break leg, it don't mean like someone wants you to shake your leg directly. Nah, it means like someone want to say you good luck, something like that. And also there is idiomatic translations, kind of same of free because there is no structure, but this is idiomatic. I think it's different. So idiomatic is when we keep the natural expression or idiomatic from the target language even though there is a different from the source language. For example, when someone say that it's raining cat and dogs, It don't mean like it's raining, but the fall is cat and also dog, not the water. No, it don't seems like that. So the meaning is it's raining but it's heavily, so raining heavily, Okay, and the last one is communicative translations. And then we move into the when there is a method and also there is a technique. So the translation technique, there is several technique. The first one is borrowing, and also naturalizations, and functional equivalent, cultural equivalent, and some modulations. Borrowing is seems like the faithfulness translations we talked before, and this is the interesting one, the modulations, because modulations is about changing the way you're thinking. For example, when someone say that you are not wrong in the Swedish language, but we translate it like you right, you are right, you are right. So it have a same meaning, right? But in the different form, by the way. So it's kind of interesting because this is the way how it changes the way we think. Okay, I think that's all about our conversations, I think. So this is actually the midterm for my translations subject with Mr. Dr. Sakut Ansari. So this is about I'm going to share you a little bit about my knowledge that I've been to learn with him, with my lecturer. So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to end this video, and let's meet again when we want to talk about interpretations video in the next. Okay, so happy watching, guys. Bye bye. Thank you.